5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're listening to Clean Plate Club. Yum, 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 yum. Clean Plate Club.
Hi everyone, I'm Cappy, and those are my twins Leo and Ella. Welcome to Clean Plate Club. It's kind of like story time with a recipe.
Yeah, the kitchen is so much fun. Remember to always be safe and listen to an adult. You're right, Ella.
Today's recipe is Spinach Orecchiette. And this recipe was sent to us by Chef Ken Oringer and his daughter Verveine. It's from their cookbook called Cooking with My Dad the Chef. Ken is a Boston-based chef and restaurateur. Let's listen to what Chef Ken and his daughter Verveine have to say about this recipe.
Hi everyone, I'm Verveine Oringer and I'm here with my dad, the chef.
Hi everyone.
My dad and I love making this pasta dish together. Orecchiette is my favorite pasta shape. Each one looks like a smushed ball or a little ear, which is the Italian translation of the name.
I love orecchiette. And they're green, but this is a really nutritious way of eating a ton of spinach and having it in pasta where you don't even know you're eating it.
And plus they kind of look like the Loch Ness Monster when they're coming out of the water.
They're floating in the water. They're so cute.
But I promise you it doesn't taste great.
So for any of you guys, we like them with Parmesan and butter, or you can get a little fancier and serve them with bolognese sauce or any of your favorite pasta sauces.
If you want to learn more about substituting gluten-free flours, you can check out our book, Cooking with My Dad the Chef, that has many other fun recipes to cook with kids. Do you have any tips?
My only tip, get in the kitchen and cook.
Thanks, Ken and Verveine. We'll take a new pasta dish that we can make together as a family any day. And we already have your book and can't wait to cook our way through it. We'll put a link to it in the episode notes. Can you say orecchiette?
Orecchiette. Orecchiette. I think we had this before.
We have had this before, but not this yummy homemade one. What are some of your favorite pasta shapes?
I like red dot noodle.
I know you like those, bud. Leo's talking about Filipino-style spaghetti, which has a sweeter-style red sauce. How about you, Ella?
I like shells.
I like shells too. If you want to see this recipe, go to the episode notes on your device, and we will also put it on our social media at Clean Plate Club Pod.
And now for the ingredients. This is a good time for measuring cups and spoons.
This recipe serves 4. First, for the orecchiette, 2 cups baby spinach, 2 large eggs.
Can I crack them?
Yes, you can crack them. Then, 1/4 cup milk, 2 cups cup for cup brand gluten-free multipurpose flour, plus some extra for shaping the pasta. You can also use regular all-purpose flour if you do not need to use gluten-free. And last, 1/4 teaspoon kosher salt. And then, after you've shaped the orecchiette and it's time to finish the dish, you will need 4 quarts of water to boil the orecchiette, 2 tablespoons kosher salt.
Why do we put salt in the water?
That's a good question. Think of the pasta you're adding as a sponge that doesn't really have too much flavor, but when that sponge, or the pasta in this case, soaks up that salty pasta water, it gives it a chance to taste even more yummy. Then, 4 tablespoons unsalted butter, cut into 4 pieces.
I know unsalted butter.
Right, there's salted and unsalted butter. If you choose to use salted butter, just be careful how much additional salt you add to your dish. You don't want it to be too salty. And remember, you can always add more salt, but you can't take it away. And last, 1/2 cup grated Parmesan cheese.
And now the instructions.
Adults, we trust you will use your best judgment when it comes to kids using cooking equipment and appliances.
But first, always wash your hands before cooking.
There are 3 parts to this recipe. Part 1 is making the dough. Part 2 is how to cut, roll, and shape the orecchiette dough. And Part 3 is how to finish the dish. Here are the 3 steps to making the dough. Number 1, for the orecchiette, add the spinach, eggs, and milk to a blender jar. Place the lid on top of the blender and hold it firmly in place. Chef Ken and Verveine like to put a folded dish towel on top to be extra careful and make sure it doesn't splatter all over. Turn on the blender and process until the mixture is smooth for about 1 minute. Then you can stop the blender. Number 2, in a large bowl, add the flour and then sprinkle it with a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Using your hands, make a well in the center of the flour.
Daddy, what's a well?
A well is like a little dent or divot in the flour. Then you're going to want to pour the spinach mixture from the blender into the well in the bowl. Use a fork to slowly stir and bring the flour and spinach mixture together until a dough starts to form. Number 3, sprinkle a clean counter with the extra flour and then transfer the dough to the counter. Use your hands to knead the dough until it is smooth.
What does knead the dough mean?
You know how sometimes with Play-Doh you push it down with the palm of your hand over and over to flatten it? It's kind of like that, but you do it over and over with the pasta dough. So do that for about 1 minute for this recipe. You can add a little extra flour if the dough feels too sticky. Form the dough into a smooth ball and then wrap it in plastic wrap. Place it in the refrigerator and let it rest at least 30 minutes or up until 2 days. Next, there are 5 steps for how to cut, roll, and shape the orecchiette dough. Number 1, line a rimmed baking sheet with parchment paper and sprinkle it lightly with a little bit of that extra flour. Number 2, lightly sprinkle even more of that extra flour on the countertop and sprinkle the pasta dough with some of that flour as well. Use a bench scraper to divide the dough into 6 equal pieces.
Daddy, why do we keep sprinkling flour?
Well, a lot of times when we work with dough like this, we sprinkle just a little flour at a time so it doesn't stick to the counter. Now, number 3, working with 1 piece of dough at a time, roll the dough into a 1/2 inch thick rope, about 16 inches long. While you are working with a piece of dough, keep the remaining dough covered in plastic so it doesn't get too dry. Number 4, dip the bench scraper in extra flour and cut the dough crosswise, the short way, into a 1/4 inch size pieces. And number 5, dust your fingers with some more flour and turn each little piece so the cut side is up. And then gently press your thumb into the dough to make it look like a little ear. Use the bench scraper to carefully transfer the shaped orecchiette to the parchment-lined rimmed baking sheet that has been dusted with flour. You can now repeat the rolling, cutting, and shaping with the remaining 5 pieces of dough. You'll soon be a pro. After it is cut, rolled, and shaped, the orecchiette dough can be refrigerated in an airtight container for up to 24 hours.
Can we eat it now?
Not quite yet. We still have to cook it in hot water. So now, here's the last part, finishing the dish. There are 3 steps. Number 1, add water to a large pot that you would usually cook pasta in and bring it to a boil over high heat. Once it is boiling, carefully add 2 tablespoons of salt and then the orecchiette to the pot. Cook, stirring often with a wooden spoon until the pasta is al dente.
Daddy, what's on dente?
I thought you were going to ask that. In Italian, it means to the tooth, or in this case, tender but still a bit chewy, and then let it cook for about 5 to 7 minutes. Turn off the heat. Number 6, add butter to a large serving bowl. Use a spider skimmer to transfer the pasta to the serving bowl.
What's a spider skimmer?
It's kind of like a round wire basket that's a little flat and it has a long handle. It's usually used to take things out of hot liquid. If you don't have a spider skimmer, you can ask an adult to drain the pasta in a colander in the sink. And number 7, use a wooden spoon to toss the pasta and butter until the butter melts. Add the Parmesan cheese and stir gently until the pasta is well coated with the butter and cheese. Season to taste with salt and pepper, and you're done. You can eat now.
Can I have extra cheese, please? Me too.
Yes, you can have a little extra.
That's it. Kitchen is closed.
And we know with kids, the kitchen is never really closed.
Daddy, can I have a snack? Daddy, I'm hungry.
And that's why we have more episodes sharing easy and delicious recipes from some of our good friends who also happen to be great cooks. If anyone listening has a favorite recipe you love to cook at home, have an adult send us an email to cleanplateclubpod@oncappysplate.com or DM us on Instagram @cleanplateclubpod. We'll share that info in the episode notes. We hope you love listening to this recipe. Let us know if you make these in your own kitchen. Take a pic and tag it with #CleanPlateClubPod. Give it 1 or 2 thumbs up and hopefully not 1 or 2 thumbs down. Thank you for listening to Clean Plate Club. As always,
just try a bite. You don't have to like it. Just try it.
Please cook responsibly. Any ingredient, advice, suggestion, or comments are solely those of Clean Plate Club. Please consult your medical professional if you have a specific nutrition or dietary-related question. Clean Plate Club is a production of Beyond the Plate.
Thank you for listening. I will go play now.